Hello, friends. Happy Tuesday. Happy December. Happy birthday if you're a Sagittarius. So I woke up this morning in a pretty terrible mood. And pretty upset, actually. And I realized that over the last week or so, I haven't been doing my regular things that usually keep me grounded and in an okay mindset. So I came out to this field here. Accidentally stopped recording. Okay. So yeah, I came out to this field here, and let me show you. Also, look at that beautiful blue sky. Came out to this field. I dropped my, I've got this like waterproof blanket. Dropped the blanket on the ground and just laid down under the sun. No music, no videos, no audio at all, just silence. And actually, it's not silent. You can hear cars on the highway, but you can also hear the wind rustling through the grass, and occasionally you'll hear a bird or just my own breath, really. There's lots of sounds if you attune to them. But anyway, I was just sitting in the sunlight here and allowing whatever needed to come up, and then processing it, or just coming back to my breath. Basically, just doing a bit of meditation, more or less. And yeah, like I said, I realized that over the last week or 2 weeks or whatever, I've been getting away from my regular practices of like the solid, consistent things that I do to keep myself level. So before I took this little walk out here, I actually wrote down a couple of gratitudes, which is a really helpful practice, I find. So yeah, there's definitely a lot to be said about gratitude. I mean, it's important not to do spiritual bypassing and just pretend that everything is rainbows and butterflies and unicorn farts. But at the same time, if you keep yourself stuck and you don't bring yourself out of much lower states, then that can be really unhealthy. And a few of the tricks that I have been doing for the last little while that has really helped me is I write down different things that I'm grateful for. And today, I am grateful to be alive. I'm grateful for this beautiful sunshine and the clear blue skies. I'm grateful for clouds too, but there's not a cloud in sight right now, so I'm digging that. I'm grateful for delicious tea. The fact that I can take a walk. Grateful for every part of my body that works tirelessly without me even thinking about it. Like my heart for beating. Sorry, just tapped the mic there. My heart for beating. My lungs for breathing. All of the beautiful things that I can see. The fact I can see color. That's pretty amazing. I'm grateful for fuzzy socks. for the ability to record and post and watch videos from all over the world. You know, little things like that. Grateful for oranges. I love oranges. Had one today. It was nice. A couple of the other things that I normally have been doing in the past, anyway, that I kind of lost track of this last week or so is yoga, just stretching and being in my body and actively working to relax my body, and then meditating. We spend so much time up in our heads, focused up here, and no time down here. It's not very healthy. My friend asked me yesterday my opinion on a new therapeutic that they've been pushing to legalize and be able to use across Canada, that they have actually been able to start using in different parts of the country to help with depression and stuff. And my main response was just like, there's no magic pill. There's no magic pill for wanting to feel better. And the other main thing that I really wanted to get across was that should we be constantly trying to adjust ourselves to fit in with a sick society, or should we be working to adjust the sick society? And I was kind of reflecting on that a little bit while I was laying here, and I don't believe that anything is 100% black and white. There is room for both, especially when it comes to like serious mental health issues. I think that it is totally valid and totally necessary to use different tools, medicines, different food, diets, you know, whatever is helpful for you to get yourself out of that stuck situation. Actually, this ties right into what I was saying about gratitudes. It's necessary to use the different tools at our disposal to, like I said, get us out of that stuck lower state. But then it's also necessary to start making adjustments and healing the different things that are causing those symptoms in the first place. Because, you know, medication and drugs and all of this hoopla, it's helpful. It's helpful, but it's only treating the symptom. It's not treating the cause. And that is where the inner work comes in. It's so necessary to calm our minds and get into our body. Because a person with a strong core, a strong center, cannot be duped. You can't be hypnotized. You don't fall for suggestions and subliminals quite so easily when you have a strong core and you're in your center. So these are the things that I was thinking about. Also, we've forgotten how to breathe. Most of the time we're breathing up here, lifting our shoulders or our chest, when the true power of your breath comes from your diaphragm, your stomach. It's a big difference. And it came up in my therapy recently, actually, that I don't know how old I was. I was pretty young. But around the time I started getting self-conscious about how I looked and my weight and whether or not the opposite gender liked me and shit like that, is when I started sucking in my stomach and not breathing from my stomach because I didn't want to look fat. Straight up, I didn't want to look fat. There's a lot of damage that I've done to myself just from that alone. And I could sit and think forever about the why and the how and the when. But ultimately, the why and the how and the when don't really matter. What matters is I start making changes now. Do what I can now. And that includes, using gratitudes and little simple tricks to get me out of lower states of mind and being so that I can start doing the work. What is the work? What is the work? I talk about that a lot. Doing the work. The work is looking at your shadow. Basic shadow work. But also not getting caught in the healing trap. What is the healing trap? Well, if you're always healing, or if you say that you're healing yourself, just in that language alone and in that concept, there's a bit of a trap that we can fall into, where it means that a part of us is unacceptable. And as long as you view any part of yourself as unacceptable, this ties directly into shadow work, by the way, as long as you view any part of yourself as unacceptable and not okay, that that part will fight back, or you push it down into your subconscious and it becomes part of your shadow. And Carl Gustav Jung, the very person that came up with the idea of shadow work, said very simply, that which you resist persists. So the idea of doing the work and doing shadow work is not to fix or heal a part of yourself that you find unacceptable. It's actually more about accepting what is, accepting that part of yourself, accepting the ugliest, darkest, most, I'm going to use air quotes here, evil part of yourself. Just the more that you reject it, the more that you don't accept it, the bigger that shadow grows. The bigger that shadow grows, the more you struggle with it. Then you get what I like to call shadow sneak attacks. I haven't made it a secret. I've struggled with addiction for pretty much all of my 20s. I turned 30 in May, so pretty much all of my 20s. And pretty much every time that I went and relapsed in any of my addictions, that's what I call a shadow sneak attack. Or when I get really angry and start projecting things outward, or because anger is in my shadow, my anger is in my shadow, or would get really like passive aggressive and stuff, and totally not be able to see that I'm being passive aggressive. That's a shadow sneak attack. Yeah, that happens. It happens a lot. And I'm laughing right now because like it ties directly into what I was saying about having to accept it. You just have to accept it. There's a lady, Kristen Neff. I would recommend looking her up if you've got the time. She talks a lot about it just came to mind, and then I remembered her name, and now it's not in my mind. She talks a lot about accepting your different parts and like unconditional acceptance and unconditional love. What is the word? Self-acceptance? Brain fart. Anyway, I'm sure if you Google her name, you'll find it. So yeah. Those are my main points today. Nothing is black and white. There's always just some gray area. Always. It goes for literally anything and everything in life. Bold words, I know, but it's true. And it's important to utilize the tools that you have access to in order to help get yourself out of lower states of being, but it's also extremely important to look at the causes and the underlying things that are the cause of those symptoms. Like addiction is a symptom. Addiction isn't the issue, addiction is a symptom, for example. Yeah. And some of those tools that I use are gratitudes. I use yoga and meditation, and those are massive. They help so freaking much. Getting into your body and processing the feelings that are there, sitting with those feelings, accepting those feelings, especially the ones that you don't want to acknowledge as being there, because they are there. The reality is that they are there, and pretending that they aren't, or telling them that they aren't, whatever it is for you, it doesn't actually help. It just causes more pain down the road. So yeah, I hope that makes sense. I think that we're going to see a really big shift as we roll into December and as we roll into the next Gregorian calendar year, where if you have been doing the shadow work and you have been doing the work and it's been awful, it's gonna start feeling a little bit lighter. And if you haven't been doing the work, you haven't been going into your shadow, it's gonna start feeling shittier. So my hope for you, my friends, is that you be brave. You've lived through every single day up until now. So be grateful for that. That's a perfect way to end it. Be grateful for the day.